The American Revolution, Birth of a Nation. Over 240 years ago, 13 colonies along the eastern coast of North America dared to challenge the mightiest empire in the world. This is the story of the American Revolution, a fight for freedom, a struggle for identity, and the birth of a nation that would change the course of history. From the streets of Boston to the battlefields of Yorktown, the journey of the American Revolution is as inspiring as it is dramatic. Today, we'll explore the key events, the bold leaders, and the moments that defined America's fight for independence. Causes of the Revolution. To understand the American Revolution, we must first understand why it began. By the mid-18th century, the 13 colonies were thriving economically, culturally, and socially. But tension was brewing. The British Empire, recovering from expensive wars like the French and Indian War, decided to tighten control over its colonies. They imposed taxes like the Stamp Act of 1765, which taxed legal documents, newspapers, and even playing cards. Colonists protested with the famous phrase, "No taxation without representation." Another source of tension was the Tea Act of 1773. It allowed the British East India Company to sell tea directly to the colonies, undercutting local merchants. In response, the Boston Tea Party erupted, with colonists dumping hundreds of chests of British tea into Boston Harbor. These acts of defiance were more than mere protests, they were signals that the colonies were ready to challenge British authority. And with the ideas of liberty, equality, and natural rights spreading from Enlightenment thinkers like John Locke, revolution was no longer a distant idea, it was becoming inevitable. Key figures. No revolution happens without leaders who inspire, organize, and fight for the cause. George Washington, who would later become the first president of the United States, emerged as the commander of the Continental Army. His leadership, perseverance, and strategic brilliance were crucial in sustaining the revolutionary effort. Then there was Thomas Jefferson, the principal author of the Declaration of Independence. Jefferson's words in 1776, that all men are created equal and endowed with the unalienable rights, captured the spirit of revolution and remain foundational to American identity. Other important figures include Benjamin Franklin, a diplomat who secured vital support from France, John Adams, a fiery advocate for independence, and Paul Revere, whose midnight ride warned of the British approach at Lexington and Concord. These men, along with countless ordinary citizens, farmers, artisans, and women, contributed to a collective effort that would change the world. Major battles. The American Revolution was fought not just with words, but on battlefields across the colonies. The first shots were fired at Lexington and Concord in April 1775, famously called the "shot heard round the world." Though small in scale, these skirmishes ignited a full-scale war. In 1777, the Battle of Saratoga became a turning point. The American victory convinced France to officially ally with the colonies, providing crucial military and financial support. Another pivotal moment came in 1781 at Yorktown, Virginia. General Cornwallis and his British troops were surrounded by American and French forces. After weeks of siege, Cornwallis surrendered, effectively ending major combat operations and paving the way for American independence. Throughout the war, soldiers faced immense hardships, harsh winters, lack of supplies, and disease. Yet, the determination to fight for liberty kept the revolutionary spirit alive. Declaration of Independence. On July 4, 1776, the Continental Congress adopted the Declaration of Independence, formally severing ties with Britain. Jefferson's eloquent words captured the universal desire for freedom. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. The Declaration was not just a statement of ideals, it was a bold political act, one that risked everything for the hope of a better future. It inspired citizens, encouraged allies like France, and gave the revolution a moral and philosophical foundation that would resonate for generations. Aftermath and legacy. The Treaty of Paris in 1783 officially ended the war, recognizing the United States as an independent nation. But the revolution's impact went far beyond the battlefield. It inspired democratic movements worldwide, reshaped political thought, and set the stage for the creation of the U.S. Constitution in 1787. Ideas of liberty, representation, and rights became central to the American identity. The revolution also left challenges. Loyalists faced persecution, slavery continued in the South, and Native American communities suffered greatly. Yet, the promise of a nation built on freedom and self-determination endured, shaping the course of American history for centuries to come. Conclusion. The American Revolution was more than a war, it was the birth of a nation and the beginning of a bold experiment in liberty. From acts of protest in Boston to the battlefields of Yorktown, the story of independence reminds us of the power of courage, unity, and the relentless pursuit of freedom. Today, as we reflect on those turbulent years, we see how the spirit of 1776 continues to inspire Americans, a reminder that the fight for liberty and justice is never truly finished. The American Revolution was the story of ordinary people achieving extraordinary change, and it remains one of the most defining moments in the history of the United States. Thank you for listening to this journey. More inspiring stories are coming soon. Like, comment, and follow for more learning and storytelling.